Hi guys, I'm Charlie, welcome back to Cine Channel, and today is the last day of 2025, which is just absolutely insane. This year went by super fast, but this also means that this is the last video of 2025. I started my channel this year, so thank you for sticking around if you did, and being here with this journey. I know I haven't been around that much this year, sorry, but I'm back for 2026. And I wanted to do this video and review Anaconda, just to end 2025 good. So today I will be ranking all 31 new 2025 movies I've seen. I've not seen everyone. I know a lot of these YouTubers are like, I'm ranking all 120 movies I've seen this year, and I'm like, damn. But I still do think this is going to be a good list. This does include my top 10 worst of the year and top 10 best. So without further ado, let's begin. Starting in absolute last, 31, A Very Jonas Christmas Movie. My worst movie of 2025. It was just very made for streaming. I don't know why this was made, why the Jonas Brothers would choose to make a movie, why they would want this one to be their first, and why would they make a Christmas movie as their first movie. It's completely forgettable. All I can remember is Santa looked like this. Other than a few funny cameos and okay music, since they are a band, this movie was just not for me. It wasn't funny, and for a short runtime of an hour and 20 minutes, it dragged. In my review, I gave it a 4. Number 30, Megan 2.0. I thought the first one was okay. I'm not the target audience, obviously. It was just fun and leaning more horror, but this one, completely wacky, no scary stuff, other than some gore, but it is still PG-13. I just don't even know what we're doing in this one. Maybe it's a little funny at some times or a little cool with the action, but thinking back to what I found interesting and what made me want to see the first one, completely lost it. This is another one where I really can't remember anything from it. Megan 2.0 gets a 4. Sorry. 29, Novocaine. This movie was just kind of generic. It came out in March and it's set around Christmas, which I thought was weird. It was a fun premise and the trailer seemed interesting, of this guy who has a condition where he can't feel pain, but it just feels like every other action movie kinda, where he works at a bank, there's this girl that he likes, she gets kidnapped by these robbers, and he goes after her. It's just a plot I've seen a lot. You've seen a lot. And yes, there was fun action and, like I said, an interesting premise, but how it was played out, I was just not the biggest fan of. Completely generic. Once again, the Christmas setting was interesting, and it's not horrible, just out of everything else I've seen this year, it's forgettable. I give Novocaine a 5. Number 28, apparently this is going to be controversial, One Battle After Another. This movie is just absolutely getting love right now, and I honestly don't get it. Once again, this movie's not horrible. I like Leo in it, he's funny, he's good, and it was an interesting experience of a movie. You know, the cinematography looks cool at some points, but overall this was just confusing to me. Why was it 3 hours long? Why is the dialogue weird as hell in this movie? It's over sexual. I just didn't get it, but apparently everybody else did. Like I said, it's not horrible. It's just an experience for sure. I think I gave One Battle After Another a 6 in my original review, but I think I'm gonna bump it down to a 5 just compared to all the other movies I've seen in the placements of rankings. I should be allowed to do that. So I give One Battle After Another a 5. Number 27, Mickey 17. Another weird experience. It was a long movie, but this one I can appreciate more because it builds out a weird, wacky world with characters that are over dramatic and fun things happen. And it's an interesting premise once again. I think the acting's fine. It's just this movie's so in your face about what it's about, and literally like the visual, I don't know, references are just so in your face about all the political views this movie has. And it just really took me out of the film. And maybe that's with One Battle After Another too. That's why I didn't really like it that much. There's ways you can do social commentary, but when it's so in your face like these two movies are, it just really takes you out. So I also give Mickey 17 a 5. Number 26, Dogman. I can't believe I'm saying that over One Battle After Another and Mickey 17. These 3-hour epics is beaten out for me by Dogman. I like the books, they're nostalgic for me. Captain Underpants, everything like that. Animation looked cool in this movie. I'm a fan of Pete Davidson. It was just a fun time at the beginning of this year. Probably the first movie I saw this year. I like the themes in it for an animated kids movie. It had themes about Petey's character wanting to actually become a dad and learning responsibility. I thought it was like a great just origin adapted well. Am I gonna get some hate for that? Yeah. But still, okay, this movie's a 6. I'm not glazing Dogman. It's just 1 above 5. Number 25, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I just thought this was a fine remake, but once again, a bit generic. With the characters, with the plot, I've seen this kind of movie before. I didn't really like the rich aspect. Just felt unneeded for a horror movie, with these characters being on a yacht. Maybe it's cool for location, but to start with, I'm not really that big of a fan of the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise, but this one was just okay to me, like I said. Out of everything else this year, this just kind of falls flat. Once again, just a bit generic. I give I Know What You did last summer, a 6. Number 24, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Now this movie was fun. I haven't seen the previous two, so I don't know how they compare. But I did like the magic sequences and the trippy scenes. But overall, the dialogue was almost too bad. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't stand it. It was really cringy at some points. Just the most generic, old cast meets new cast. It's trying to be charming, but it comes off as a little bit cringy and unaware. I think the characters are just very generic and tropey. Now You See Me, Now You Don't is another 6. Number 23, Him. Now this movie visually is a cool experience, but this is all that movie is kinda. The plot is that a rising football star gets injured, so he has to go to a camp, but the camp turns out to be just some fucked up football cult thing. I don't know why Jordan Peele would want to attach his name to this. He's just the producer, not the director. But this movie just totally missed. It made for cool sequences and bloody parts and like weird moments, which were enjoyable. But like I said, no plot, a bit of a drag. It was just a weird idea of a sports horror movie. I give him a 6. Number 22, Jurassic World Rebirth. What is going on with Jurassic World? When will this franchise end? We don't need to be doing this. They just needed to have another win after the whole Dominion debacle, which I talked about back in July. But man, what was going on with this unaware, generic sequel? The 7th one, and it just played kind of like Jurassic Park 3, but bland. There was one cool river sequence that's a reference to the books and a reference to how it was cut out of the original Jurassic Park, which is cool. CGI looks great and all that. I think the actors do fine, but they just kind of phone in their performance. I just wasn't a fan of how it ended so quickly. I just don't think Jurassic World needs to be stretched out like this. I gave Jurassic World Rebirth a 6. A lot of 6s, I know. Number 21, Wicked for Good. The first one actually surprised me and it was a pretty good movie. The production, the music, all that. I thought the two main leads did a great job. And I just thought the sequel fell flat. I was excited to see the Wizard of the Oz tie-ins. And yes, they're there, and I think it's cool how they integrate that. But it feels like they're doing the bare minimum and doing that just because they have to. And like, we literally only get a couple sequences of Scarecrow and Tin Man. We never see Dorothy's face, and the end just kind of feels thrown together. And it just feels like it has to work because this is how the Wizard of the Oz ends. And this movie's already based on so much stuff, it just has to end this way. So the parts I was looking for, it rushed through. I thought the music was just okay this time. Wasn't a fan of the new added songs. I liked Wonderful though. It was still a fun experience and once again looked great. The production was awesome. Kind of rushed everything. Wicked for Good is the last 6. Number 20, a Minecraft movie. Man, this movie was an event. There was controversy around this. Not with the movie, but with how people were acting in the movie theaters. I do think this movie is just a fun time. On rewatch, it's cringy, yes. The dialogue is bad. It could be overacted and just look bizarre with the Minecraft world, but still being nostalgic for me and being a still good adaptation, because it's still for kids too, so it has to be silly and goofy. It's good. I enjoyed Jack Black as Steve. The other characters work and they fit into the world. The look of the Minecraft world was awesome. It just didn't really do a lot with it, which was a bit disappointing, but I still thought it was funny, it worked, and I don't know, maybe nostalgia is just winning a bit over. This could honestly be a 6 too, but I'm giving it a 7. Number 19, Final Destination Bloodlines. This one actually surprised me. It was a fun horror movie, a graphic one, and as Jurassic World Rebirth just does the same thing. This sequel, which is like the 5th one, does something different, advances the lore, gives a new location, and keeps up with the fun creative kills. There was some emotion in here with the girl trying to convince her family that this is all real and just them not believing her. Some good tie-ins with the original, once again adding to the lore. Just another great experience. And for new horror, this movie was awesome. 2025 is actually a great year for horror movies. I give Final Destination's Bloodlines a 7. Number 18, How to Train Your Dragon. Now this one, nostalgia kind of wins over again. I was a fan of the original, and I just appreciated how much this movie looks like, basically is the original, just a faithful adaptation. Now sometimes, yes, I get annoyed when they don't do stuff different, but this one completely works as just a faithful reimagining in the live action style. I thought all the actors do a great job. It was just cool to see this type of movie in 2025. I don't know, for some reason it just worked. The medieval style of it all, the Viking look, production value. It was a good summer movie. I gave How to Train Your Dragon a 7. Coming in at number 17, Zootopia 2. Now this movie I saw the night it came out, but that was also a night where I was just getting into Illinois. I live in Florida and my family's in Illinois. So I just got in that night and I met up with my friend. So we saw Zootopia 2, but I was really tired. So for that reason, I can't remember that much from the movie, but this was just still another fun time. It's a fresh new take on the world with visiting reptiles in Zootopia, how they've been banished out, and then what they're teasing at the end of the movie makes me excited for Zootopia 3. So it was fresh. Judy and Nick still just have great chemistry. There's great character development. All the new side characters worked in this world. It was just cool to see Zootopia get a sequel this many years later. Usually you would be like, well, what's the point? But this one actually worked. It was fun and one of the better animated movies of the year. I gave Zootopia 2 a 7. Coming in at number 16, I was saying 2025 is a great year for horror movies, Weapons. This movie was quite the surprise. I liked the way it was told in all different perspectives and kind of chapters of each character. The twist and reveal at the end of the aunt, the premise and specific of, you know, all these kids getting up at 2:17 just made for a great experience. But I also watched this in line waiting at Halloween Horror Nights this year, since the lines are like 2 to 3 hours long. I watched it Halloween night waiting in line at Halloween Horror Nights. Still worked, still enjoyed it. This was a great new horror movie. I give Weapons a 7. Number 15, The Running Man. Now this was a cool action movie, packed cast, and from the start to the end, they're just fully in this journey of the main character, having to survive, having to get the money for his family, seeing everybody chase after this poor guy. But it just felt a bit generic and a bit predictable at times. I can't really remember that much from this movie. It all kind of has like a grungy look to it, which if you're watching for 2 hours can just get a bit boring at some times. They were just building up this movie so much to be an event when it was just kind of a bit bland, and especially for a director who's known for his style. It just felt like a studio-made movie. The dialogue was a bit generic as well. I know I'm talking all this and you see the Running Man posters. My friend kept grabbing those. For some reason, The Running Man just fell a bit flat, but it was still entertaining. I gave it a 7. Number 14, Happy Gilmore 2. This movie was unexpected, but it was funny. I'm a big fan of Adam Sandler. This movie was stacked, had all the cameos, had all the Adam Sandler moments. I thought it worked, it was funny. It was a bit chaotic, and a big questionable decision with killing off his wife in the beginning, which I didn't know how I really felt about, since she was a prominent character in the first one. I wasn't really a big fan of the villain in this one, but overall it was funny, it looked good. Love Adam Sandler's style and comedic sense. I gave Happy Gilmore 2 a 7 as well. Number 13, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. This movie is long, it's action-packed, there's just such big stunts and scenes in here, which is awesome. The plane sequence was a standout and cool at the end of the movie. I just felt like the characters were a bit generic. The plot was big, but a bit generic with being about artificial intelligence. For the finale of Mission Impossible, they could have found more bigger thing than AI. I mean, I get it's continuing from the first part, but still. The human villain just kind of fell flat and was generic as well. But still, the action was there, the stunts were there. I give Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 a 7. Number 12, my most recent review, Anaconda. Reiterating what I just said in my last review, this movie was a good time. It was fun. It was funny. It just dragged a bit sometimes because we're in one location with one goal, so it just kind of felt a bit stiff at points, and the side plots that were there just weren't really that interesting. Other than the main cast, the side characters weren't really that interesting either. It's got action, it's got comedy, it's got a little bit of horror, jump scares, some PG-13 gore, you know how it is. But overall, I feel like it worked. Has everything you would want in an Anaconda movie. The standout is Greg's dad. This movie is funny. I gave Anaconda a 7. Number 11, Captain America Brave New World. Now this movie is kind of getting hated on, or it was, and maybe people are going to appreciate it now that they think Steve Rogers is replacing Anthony Mackie in Doomsday, but he's not. But this movie still worked for me. It was once again a good time. I love seeing Red Hulk and finally the leader. It was cool that they brought him back. That brings up the question, where's Hulk? This is a Hulk sequel without Hulk. I thought Sam Wilson's Captain America was great. He works and the suit's awesome. The new guy's Falcon works too. It was cool seeing Harrison Ford play Thunderbolt Ross. This movie did really feel cohesive in the MCU and like we're in one big world. And with the reshoots and everything, this movie still stands for me. I'm excited to see if Sam Wilson will get another Cap movie, but I don't know, unfortunately. I still do see the problems in this one though. Captain America Brave New World gets a 7. Number 10, kicking off my 10 best movies of the year. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, funny enough, I was watching another movie reviewers and this was his number 10 for the worst movies of the year. You know how critics handled this movie. I'm a fan of this movie. I posted my initial reaction. I wanted to make a full review. I was making that review. It was long, but my camera only filmed a minute of it, I swear. So I was just so pissed off, but I'm gonna do my little review here. It was great, alright? I loved it. I loved all the references. FNAF 2 is probably my favorite. The animatronics look great. The lore drops. Now, I do feel how this is confusing for critics. This is really just for the fans. I am a fan, so I thought it was awesome. Now, yes, there's not really that much more horror in here, or gore. Just a few pieces here and there. I thought the opening was the best part of the movie, and I wish we saw Matthew Lillard more. But with the setup to the third one, I cannot wait to see FNAF 3. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was great. I give it a 7. Number 9, Thunderbolts. This movie was a surprise for me. It was like Guardians of the Galaxy. Unexpected new team, and I like that it was technically still an Avengers movie with the title change. That was an interesting marketing tactic, which I thought worked in the context aspects of the movie, especially with the end. I like this new team. I like the villain it introduces with the Void, and I like the artsy side of this. It's different for the MCU with the surreal third act, with them going into the Void's dream world thing. The movie's dark. I just thought it really worked for Marvel at this time and in this year, and as the in-between movie from Cap to Fantastic Four. Once again, this feels like a part of the MCU, with a lot of this taking place at Stark Tower, which is now the Watchtower for Sentry. I give Thunderbolts an 8. Number 8, Frankenstein. This is a 2-hour and 20-minute epic, released on Netflix, but still, Oscar Isaac works great as Victor Frankenstein. The whole look and grand scale of this movie is awesome. The colors of this movie, I'm just glued to the screen the whole time, but it just does feel a bit boring and dragged out in the second half, because this is like a very emotional take and character study of the movie and not like a horror action thing, you know? Which I wasn't expecting, and I do like the character study side, but there's a big section of this movie where it does just drag, unfortunately. And honestly, I don't like the Frankenstein design. You take such a classic design and he's like all just bald and pale, not even that much taller or bigger. I was not a big fan of the Frankenstein design. Frankenstein gets an 8 though. Number 7, The Naked Gun. I thought this movie was funny, great style with like slapstick and pure parody. It's great that this is making a comeback. This type of comedy, I thought Liam Neeson was awesome. Totally fits this vibe. His deadpan humor is always great. The plot device gag in this movie is funny. It was just a great random surprise, and it pays its respects to the original actor in a really creative way. So I thought this movie worked and was my favorite comedy of the year. I give it an 8. Number 6, Predator Badlands. This movie was like probably one of the most badass of the year, and with not a lot of talking, it made up with visuals, fight scenes. This movie can get away with PG-13 and still being bloody because it's aliens, so just it's blood, but you know, green or blue. I thought the android character just wasn't horrible, but just a bit annoying at times, but still worked as the human aspect in this movie, or almost human since it was a robot. But the villain worked as the Predator's dad, and Predator getting over what's expected of him. It's just a fresh take, and finally making the Predator the main character was a cool movie. I give Predator Badlands an 8. Number 5, once again, 2025 in these horror movies, Black Phone 2. I honestly enjoy this one much more than the first one. I thought the first one was just a bit boring. It was still cool and a good premise. Creepy, you know, but it just dragged on a bit. It looked dark the whole time, but this one was really fun. Cool aesthetic with the snow and dream sequence looking like an 80s movie. Cool bloody, gory scenes in this one. I like the locations. The grabber kind of being like Freddy Krueger now. It was just a fun sequel, really bringing up everything like a true sequel should. Making the dad a likable character now, or more understandable at least, and focusing more on the girl. Keeps things fresh, and overall was a really great surprise. I give Black Phone 2 an 8. Number 4, Sinners. This movie was unique, it was great, it was a great period piece. I totally forgot it was about vampires until they showed up, and that was okay because everything else that was going on was that intriguing. The acting and performances was great, especially because it's the same guy playing the two main roles. They're great performances. The vampires, when we did get to them, that was cool, and the whole third act being kind of in the saloon, them all stuck there, dying off one by one was cool. But yeah, just really everything for me in this movie worked, and was probably the best horror movie of 2025. I give Sinners a 9. Number 3, The Long Walk. Now this movie was an absolute surprise. I'm a fan of Stephen King, but not crazy about it. This movie absolutely shocked me. I was locked in literally from the start till the end. The performances, the conversations in this movie, as this movie is just them walking, the dialogue needs to be great. The stuff that they do with what you can with walking and, you know, what situations you would run into is great, and they explore it all. Luke Skywalker as the Major was great. But like I said, the performances in this movie, the conversations, the themes, oh my gosh. Locked in the whole time. Very gruesome too. Not horror, but more thriller. The emotions, man. Literally in the first scene with the guy's mom. This movie got to me. I give The Long Walk a 9. Coming in at number 2, call me cliche. You should already tell by my channel in these videos, I'm a huge Marvel fan. The Fantastic Four First Steps was great. Finally seeing this movie on the big screen after so many attempts of a Fantastic Four movie. I thought the other ones were okay, but this one was just truly great. Seeing Galactus in the MCU, really the best part of the movie. I thought the cast was great, and it's a great Fantastic Four. I cannot wait to see these guys interact with everybody else in the MCU. Stakes were so high because this takes place outside of the MCU, in the multiverse, but it still ties in at the end with the post-credit scenes and the teasers. I cannot wait for 2026 with Marvel, but this movie just, you know, after waiting for so long, it was amazing. I just do wish they spent more time on The Thing and exploring the world a little more, because like literally with every shot you're looking to see what's this world's version of fast food, of movie stores, of all that. Once again, the dire stakes and the introduction of Franklin, who will now play a big part in the next Avengers movie. Absolutely insane stuff. Silver Surfer worked for me. I don't mind that it's a girl. Fantastic Fantastic Four First Steps gets a 9, leading me to number 1, my best movie of 2025. Call me cliche, call this a bullshit list, whatever. Superman is my favorite movie of 2025, and I gave it a 10. Alright, I have to give one movie this year a 10, and that's Superman. Just being a part of the start of the new DCU. I was a fan of Henry Cavill, but not the biggest fan, so seeing someone like David Cornsweet take on this role was awesome. He looks like Superman, acts like him, portrays him just really well. All the other characters absolutely worked this world of the new DCU. I was surprised. I thought I was gonna like Fantastic Four more, but no, Superman swept me away. All the locations, how this movie's not afraid to be a comic book movie with the big kaijus, baby aliens, the look of this movie too, all the colors. It's not ashamed to have Superman be bright and in those trunks too. A lot happens in this one, setting up the new DCU. It just throws you right in, lets you know from the get-go. Metahumans have been around. This is Superman. He's kind of the main one. Here you go. Makes me excited to be seeing everything else in the DCU. I like Peacemaker. I can't wait for Supergirl, which she's in this one too. Once again, the themes and conversations in this movie makes you feel good. Gives you hope, like Superman should, with just themes and all that. Cannot wait to see Lex Luthor and Superman have to work together in the next movie, because in this one, their dynamic is so good. That one scene of Superman, where's the dog? You tell Lex Luthor just absolutely hates Superman. Superman's not bothered by any of it. The Justice Gang worked. Once again, just can't wait to see the DCU's version of every other character. Thought this was a great start. First Superman movie in a long time. After just so much confusion, it's finally time to just have a new DCU. It completely worked. But there you have it. There is all 31 2025 movies I've seen ranked. Saw my 10 worst, 10 best, the ones in the middle. Honestly, 2025 was a great year for movies. Not the best, and 2026 is definitely going to be better, but still not bad. Probably better than 2024. I mean, definitely Marvel-wise, just by quantity standards. I cannot wait for all the movies in 2026. That's going to be my next video and first video of 2026. Most anticipated movies. But yes, just looking back, we got a good amount of horror, comic book, unique artsy ones this year, sequels. It was awesome. A lot of flops too, obviously. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the movies this year. Let me know what you thought. What's your list? What did you think of my list? Look, my 2 most anticipated movies of the year were my 2 most favorite movies of the year. Sue me, alright? But once again, thank you for watching this year. If you did, stick around for next year. I'll be around. Happy New Year's Eve and Happy New Year. What is your favorite movie of 2025? Subscribe here. Check out the TikTok, Instagram, personal Instagram. I post shorts every day on all platforms. I'll see you in the next one. Have a Cinna rest of the year.
I got hoes that I'm keeping in the dark. I got my niggas cross the street living large. Thinking back to the fact that they dead. Thought my raps weren't facts, so they sat with the bars. I got 2 phones, one need a charge.